there, Ingram Micro. I am here to introduce our first host of our Ingram Micro Coffee Chats, Mr. Kirk Robinson, here to answer a few questions and get some juices flowing on some creative conversations we can have in our very first chat. So we'll jump right in. Kirk, if you could meet any historical figure, who would you choose and why?
I think it would have to be Abraham Lincoln. I've read several books on Lincoln, and I don't think there's been anyone who faced more failure in their journey to success than Abe Lincoln. Mental breakdowns, losing political races, and he just kept going and going and going, relentless, until he reached that top position. And then what he went through up until his death with all the political choices he made, and the cabinet he pulled together was actually many of the foes he went up against. So there's a lot of great books on Abe Lincoln and the teams he pulled together and how he did it, and I just think it's fascinating.
What attracted you to come work at Ingram Micro?
Well, I had this fantastic job of selling air filters to hospitals and high-rises. And while I was rising up the ranks of the air filter kingdom, I was offered a role of taking an ASR role, taking overflow calls at Ingram Micro. And I had to make a decision because at the time I was making more money selling air filters than what Ingram Micro was offering for the role of an ASR. But as I made the tough decision of whether air filters or computers were the way of the future, I went out on a limb and chose computers, and it's paid off nicely.
What do you do for fun?
Well, in my spare time, one of the things I enjoy most is going out and doing stand-up paddleboarding. And I do that with the family, or oftentimes I'll get up at the crack of dawn on the weekends or sometimes before work and get out and go for a paddle. And it's just a great way to start the day. But most of my fun is spent with my family.
What do you feel is key in helping you get where you are today?
Sucking up. I'm kidding. I think it's being willing to take risks. I remember when I was in sales for about 10 years at Ingram, and I read an article on the CEO of Nokia, and he had taken his top 4 people and rotated them through each other's jobs, and the learnings that those individuals came away with, they were blown away having walked in one of their peers' shoes. And so at that time, I went and asked my boss if I could move into a different area within Ingram to go learn more, and then if I come back to sales, I'll be that much more valuable. And at the time, my boss moved over to marketing and said, would you want to come over to marketing? And I said yes. And it was one of the best moves I made in my career because I didn't know very much about marketing, and what I thought would be 1 or 2 years turned out to be 6. And then while I was in marketing, I was introduced to business intelligence, and there were changes in the company, and our CIO and the head of marketing left, and the 2 interns that I was working with them came up to me and said, now what? And I had read some books on business intelligence, the story of Harris Casino and several other Capital One companies that were really diving into business intelligence. And so I went to Keith Bradley and asked him if he would give me the opportunity to spend a little money on bringing some people in and building out a team. And built the team out to about 20 folks, PhDs, masters in analytics, predictive analytics, and then handed it off, and now it's a part of our global business strategy. So that was fun, and I learned a lot because I took risks without a doubt of getting up on stage and talking about things that we could do without knowing exactly how to do them. But over time, bringing in the right talent, it really paid off.
Where can we find you on a Saturday night?
Usually, Saturday night we're either at home watching a movie or out with friends having some fun dinners or get-togethers.
What is your dream car?
My dream car is a 1969 Corvette Stingray 427 big block engine. And I will get it one day.
Who are your sports teams?
Oh, this one might make me tear up because I am a Jets fan, and we are 2 games into the season and 2 games closer to getting the first pick of the draft next year. I am a Knicks fan, so there's as much pain involved as a Knicks fan. I'm an Islanders fan, so there's about as much pain as being an Islander fan. 4 Stanley Cups in a row, but that was when I was in high school and early college, which was a while ago. And I'm a Yankees fan, so every now and then I get a little enjoyment out of my Yankees. But otherwise, my sports teams are very painful right now.
What inspires you?
Other folks at Ingram. I have the opportunity to go out and meet with vendors and customers, and when I hear them talk about the people at Ingram, I get so fired up. I want to run through walls for everybody on the team. I was just down in San Diego with a customer, and they were talking about the talent and the passion that our team members have in helping them grow their business. There is nothing better than that.
What would you say is your biggest life challenge? Did you overcome it? And if so, how?
Going bald, and I have not overcome it yet. I gotta be honest, I read a lot of books on success, and you hear about people that were born into really bad circumstances and they've overcome them. I grew up on Long Island, middle income America with a great family. So I don't have a tremendous story of overcoming hardships. There are challenges in my life that I've overcome, but none that I would put out there compared to others.
If you could do one thing differently in life, what would it be?
Nothing. I have no regrets, and everything I've done in my life has led me to be who I am today, and I'm quite comfortable with that.
What is your spirit animal?
Wow. My spirit animal. The English bulldog. Because they can be fierce, but they're loyal and very friendly.
If money is no object, what would you do for a job?
Oh boy, I think I would want to travel. So I would find something like giving tours of the Amazon or something like that. Having fun, traveling and seeing the world, and something related to that. Or I'm so dedicated that regardless, I would just keep coming into Ingram because I love my job so much. One of those two.
Excellent. Thank you so much for your time, Kirk. We look forward to spending more time with you at our first coffee chat, so stay tuned for the official date announcement.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.